I call up the squad and we roll. Jolly. Hey, jolly. I call up the squad and we roll. Jolly. Jolly, jolly, jolly. I call up the squad and we roll. Jolly. Roll up with the squad, we so wild. You know I keep it.
Do you lose your sense of culture when you date outside your nationality?
Sense of culture. Look, if I think you lose, I guess, I wouldn't say lose, but I would say that there has to be some sort of compromise that needs to happen when you are dating outside of your own nationality or culture, because there is it's two sides. I mean, everyone has different cultures. If they're both coming, two people are both coming with their cultures that are rich per se, and they want to try and keep all of aspects of their culture, there's definitely going to be a clash. So in the sense that I think that yes, you lose some of your culture, or you lose some of something. Doesn't mean it's the bad, or it doesn't mean it's you lose the good, but you lose some sense of culture when you are dating someone or you're the partner that is not necessarily of the same nationality. Whether it's a good or bad thing, I don't think it's a bad thing. However, if you're gonna say, do you lose some? I think there is, yes. There are definitely examples in our community, or maybe in what we see, but I'm not going to touch on that. That's
a good idea. Don't touch on anything, mate.
Mate. Why not? Maybe not yet, but we'll see. But yeah, that's what I think. I don't know if that makes sense or anyone disagrees with me or
no,
what.
I definitely agree. Two people coming from different parts of the world. Obviously, when you come together, you've got to adapt. You know what I mean? Just like you said, Kelvin, you've got to compromise. You're bringing something to the table and they're bringing something to the table, and it's in that situation where you mold into something else. You know what I mean? Moving forward, I personally am in an interracial relationship, and I'm going through it right now. I definitely go through it right now. It's about
Like what?
Just obviously from where we come from, we've got our own, she's got her own culture. So it's about allowing her or enabling her, and even if she's willing to be educated about from where I am, and vice versa from me to her. You know what I mean? So no, that's for me. It's everything's going perfect, and you need to be with someone that is willing to show that they want to learn. You know what I mean? But you could come across another couple where they're not, and that's where you get a culture clash.
Okay.
And it might not be the best for your situation. But yeah.
But then would you say when it comes to that learning curve between the two of you, is it completely balanced, or it's one side is a bit heavier than the other? Like
There always has to be, man. Yeah, there always has to be, bro.
Yeah.
I reckon, look, it depends. I mean, who is wearing the pants?
That's
Is it the man or is it the woman? Look, for it to work, there has to be one a little bit more dominant than the other. I think that's me. There has to be the dominance. One side. It doesn't mean it's in every aspect, but one has to submit more in terms of their side.
Can you give us an example?
Can you give an example?
Yeah.
What,
Perfect. A perfect example is languages.
Yeah.
I.e., I'm Ghanaian. I'm dating a German, like a female. You know what I mean? Compromise. If you guys obviously have a child? Which one's going to be more dominant? You know what I mean? Is he going to be speaking German or is he going to be speaking Tree? What's it going to be?
Yeah,
that's a perfect example of.
It is a good example, but in that sense, you're talking about an extension of your relationship. At the end of the day, the child is not in the relationship. If things go wrong, the child, you're not going to, you can't use the child to fix that relationship. So if the basis of your relationship, we're talking about are you losing your sense of culture?
Even before he even gets to the
Yeah,
child.
before he even gets to the child.
What about? I could say food.
How so?
Right. Yeah. How so?
What food you eat?
What food I eat? All right, look, there's this. There's
No,
this.
but like,
Look, I want to bring. There's this stigma, where if us were to marry outside of the culture,
Mhm.
Boss.
growing up, what food is she making for you, or is he making for you? You go to work, you come home.
Fact.
What is it? He or she gonna be making this food?
That's true, bro.
You know what I mean? So
Are you eating lasagna or are you eating benku?
I'm eating a bit of both, bro.
That's cool.
Mate, it's all the best. Yeah.
Mama Bear's making benku and fried rice at home, so we'll
Mama
see.
Bear, I like that name, bro. I
We'll
like
see,
that
We'll
name.
see.
Man.
She's serving your phone, bro.
Sorry, what?
No, it's Mama Bear. Is it not? Anyway.
What are you calling your missus?
Nah.
Sugar.
I like that.
Plum.
And it's sweet.
Yeah,
and
that's
everything.
Ooh, shout out to you.
Shout out to you.
Shout out to you.
Nah, but anyways,
Like,
nah, like, I don't look. I don't know, bro. I
Just
think.
say you disagree.
Do you know? I don't know, man. I don't think I'd say I disagree, but I don't agree because of the simple fact that, like, you do need a compromise. But at the end of the day, as well, it's just up to you and your partner as to what what decisions you're gonna make in regards to your culture.
Okay, but let me ask you a question.
I haven't even finished saying what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
it's alright, bro. Relax. So, no, just to extend, so you can extend what you're saying. In compromising, is that not losing a sense, like to you?
No,
Okay.
it's just coming to an agreement. I'd say. They need, yeah. So like basically,
if it's compromisation,
You're losing something.
you compromising is more like something that
yeah, but
you're doing
Okay.
because of the other side.
okay,
right?
yeah,
You
okay. So I shouldn't
personally-
probably use the word compromise.
Think
the
about it
question
this way.
is- yeah.
You might be thinking of the word compromise in a negative fashion.
Well, it
You know
don't
what I mean?
like,
Who's to say compromising
It's bad.
is negative?
Yeah, it's not always bad.
No,
I guess, yeah.
At the
it's
end
not-
of
No,
the
now
day-
you're
at the end of
compromising.
the day-
That's a positive thing, isn't it? You both come
It
to
could
an
be
agreement.
positive and negative.
It could be
But-
positive because you could be letting something of yourself go just because of the other party.
Yeah, this
Okay, let me
depends on
give
the
you an
situation.
example, a language example, yeah? I don't know how relevant this will be, but let's say, for example, you guys go, like, she comes to your house, yeah? And you probably have to compromise speaking tree with your mum in order for her to understand.
Not necessarily. I can just
So you would-
translate and just tell her what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Would you always accurately translate, but?
Yeah.
See,
Okay, cool. I mean, not everyone's like you, but that's the thing.
I'm going off what you're saying. Your point, what I was saying is like bringing that point back up when you're saying if the missus goes to your house or you go to the missus house when we're talking about the interracial relationship. What I was saying is, for example, in our home, we know you speak to your parents. If you know that's your culture and that's what you do, by all means, you can do that because it comes down to the relationship you have with your missus. If you're in a relationship with your missus, your missus knows that, okay, my man, when he's at his house, this is how he speaks to his parents.
It's a part of his culture.
It's a part of his culture. And then later on, whether she wants you to translate that or whatever, that's between you and your missus. That's not a cultural thing. That's not a cultural barrier. The barrier there would be her understanding, but that still doesn't make you lose
Yeah, her culture. When I go to her house, she's speaking her
the
language.
same thing.
I don't lose my
You
culture.
don't lose
in that.
culture. Where you lose culture is
If anything, I'm adapting to her culture and learning from her culture. Doesn't mean I'm losing anything from me. If anything, I'm learning. I'm gaining from that.
So the adaptation in itself,
Yeah.
from the original state,
Yeah.
that already the culture has been diminished. True?
I like that.
Not
word.
lost.
I like
It's
that.
just been diminished.
Yeah, diminished.
But
I like that.
would you say that us being born in Australia
Mhm.
and our parents being born in Ghana, we have our culture, but the only culture that we know is Australian Ghanaian culture.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
So
really
would
diminished.
our
It's
culture that we know, is it already diminished
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
watered down.
from the get-go? Unless
what-
you were born in
No.
Ghana and coming
Nah.
here. Because the way that Ghanaians live is very different. The way their
The way
culture is
Australia-
different
yeah,
is
because-
different here.
Yeah.
True?
True.
So the culture that we grew up with has already been diminished from its original state.
The
I still
culture
think-
we grew up with.
I still
the
think that's
Australian
personal.
Ghanaian
You know what I mean?
culture.
I still think
So-
that-
The
so-
Australian Ghanaian culture you're talking
Yeah,
about.
so just
But there was no
using that-
culture here.
Who? Where?
Like there was no Australian Ghanaian culture. Weren't we the ones that were sort of building that
Not
culture?
me and you.
Our
Maybe our
parents
parents.
I would.
No,
wouldn't
but
say our parents.
they came from that culture
Yeah.
They came from Ghana to Australia. They're adapting to Australia.
Yeah,
We're in the middle.
that's
No. We're in the middle now. We're taking Australia and the Ghanaian culture together as one.
Yeah.
We're creating that culture.
That culture.
So we haven't lost anything. We didn't even know. We're still learning what they're doing back home, and we're still adapting to what's being done here. That doesn't mean we've lost our culture.
Because we've shaped a new culture too.
That question you asked, that culture thing, that just meant that question is for our parents. The actual question you should have asked was, hey,
do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here, man. Shit, I'm saying.
Yeah, so the question is, and I think we're gonna have to find a basis or a middle ground.
Let's find a middle ground.
Is what are we distinguishing as the culture and our culture? Our culture is the Afro-Ghanaian one, right?
Yeah.
And the culture is just purely Ghanaian.
Okay. So then if you're saying
Australian Ghanaian.
so then if you're saying
Afro-Australian.
being with an interracial partner make you lose the culture,
International partner or even outside
or
of
even outside, make you lose the culture. Me as a person that has a rare understanding of even the culture
itself,
itself already. How can I now answer that question?
Yeah, but then for you, it's going to be different. So the point is, everybody here will have a different perspective.
That's right.
Even those who are like still marrying within the African continent will have a different perspective to someone who's doing interracial. And the other reason for that is it depends on
is
the
interracial
culture.
just white and black?
Yeah, outside of black, anything outside of black. So Asian, black, anything outside. But for me, that's like the question I asked. For like, I don't know. For someone who's interracial, for example, I don't know how they're gonna say that. You know what I mean? It also depends how much of the Ghanaian culture they see in them.
That's good.
Then how much is coming out
and
of
how much
that.
is coming out.
You know what I mean? Because if you're seeing yourself as a more of a Afro-Australian, well then probably you're not really losing much culture. But then you get somebody also who's taken on that Ghana culture in them. Yeah, they're the Australian-born Ghanaians, but they've taken that Ghana culture. So when they date someone outside of nationality, they actually feel it.
Yo, they feel the difference.
You feel the difference, yeah? And someone else will be like, I really
but
feel the difference.
that's natural to feel the difference because your partner's not like, for example, in your home with your mother, you're speaking Tree.
Yeah.
If your partner's interracial, you're not going to be speaking Tree.
Why not?
Because
But that's what, like, Antimon, for example, was saying.
I'm saying
regardless.
in your partner's home. So just you and your partner.
I'll teach her.
Yeah, you'll teach her, but you won't be speaking it because
Wait,
obviously
just the two of you in your
just
home.
the two of you. So that's what I'm saying. From your point, it would make sense to feel less of it because you've gone now from I'm speaking Tree fluently 24/7 at home with my parents. I've now moved that living with my partner, and I'm now not speaking Tree so much. So that's normal. But we're talking about just the sense, like, I think we're looking too deep. We're talking about being with an interracial partner.
Okay, no,
Does that
then,
make you lose?
So
a
then
sense of
going back
culture?
to Tutu.
Interracial or outside of
nationality.
Outside of nationality.
Yeah.
But then going back to
Well,
Tutu then, for me, my answer is then
Well,
what we've all said is we are losing a sense of our culture, essentially. To a degree. Not fully, but to a degree. From what everyone said right now,
No.
we are losing.
No.
Okay, so Antimo, why is a no for you?
Before you talk, I still disagree because, like I said, for example, it's a choice.
No, but for example, you said, for example, you're speaking Tree at home.
Yeah.
You come in, you don't speak Tree at home.
No, but you said for yourself, you feel like you lose a sense of it.
If I was in that situation,
yeah,
I
for
feel
you.
like
But now, like I
That's
said,
you.
I'm a Ghanaian that has a rare view of the culture.
Of his own
So if
culture.
that was me dating someone that's outside of my nationality now,
you're just like them, so you're not losing anything.
no, I'm not just like them though, because they're not Ghanaian, or let's say they're not Ghanaian. So I'm not just like them. I may still have my Ghana culture in me. Now that I'm with them, I may not see a sense of losing it because it's different. It's different. It comes down to a choice because I could be there with her right now and be like, I'm Ghanaian. I want to learn to speak my language.
Brother, the moment you say you want to learn to speak your language, you lose it, brother.
No. But I've already okay. So
How does he lose it
okay,
if
hold
he's
on.
learning?
That's right because
No,
what
if
if I've never had it?
But that's one aspect already of the culture.
But that's
you
not
have.
from the relationship.
Yeah.
We're talking about the
She
relationship.
just didn't have that.
So I never had that. So in the relationship, I don't have the language already.
True.
So
Yeah.
I haven't lost anything yet in the relationship. Is what I'm saying.
I think it's
So that now comes down to choice.
Yeah.
That's right.
So then
But
for me,
Yeah.
no, maybe my angle is then
Yeah.
if you are fully embedded in the culture,
Yeah.
like so for those of us who are here, when you are fully embedded in the culture, do you lose a sense of that culture?
then that's a different.
No,
That's
but that
different
is
question.
like that is that's the question.
No, because
For those who don't technically feel like they're fully or they're missing bits and pieces, it's not relatable to you.
But this is relatable to me.
Huh?
I still feel like because by the end of the day,
No,
I'm
there is
still Ghanaian.
relationship.
Yeah,
there is relatable. What I'm
You
saying
have to
is,
be fully embedded in the
Yeah.
culture because it's just like, I mean, Dylan, if he still goes and marries or still goes and dates someone else who's not Ghanaian, he's gonna feel some sort of impact.
Oh yeah,
on
of
there.
course.
I mean, whether he believes he's gonna lose his culture,
Or
that's
not.
different. I think perspective-wise, from outside, we may think, yo, Dylan's losing something, but he actually may not.
I might be gaining more
He
because
may-
of
he might-
where I am.
He may not actually be losing his culture per se. He may continue to do whatever he used to do. It's just that he's with a different person. I mean, I think it's harder in your situation.
That's right.
I think it's harder if he can probably manage with dating someone who's outside his nationality, as opposed to maybe you. Because you're heavily more ingrained or you're more
Embedded.
embedded in it. So the thing is, right, if you go and date someone who's outside of that, like there's gonna be more conflicts.
Yeah.
There's gonna be more challenges, more barriers, and that's gonna put you off.
personally for me, that's why
Yeah.
I choose to be
You
within
want
my
someone who
within
wants
my
to
nationality.
exercise their
Yeah,
culture
because I
on a
want to be
day-to-day
free.
basis.
Yeah.
I want to be free. And now, I want to
Now
be
to
free.
come back on my
Wait. What are you saying? You want to be free?
He wants to be
Like
free.
I don't want to
He
have
wants-
to deal with those
With
cultural barriers.
Yeah,
And so I
exactly.
choose
What
to
cultural
be my
barriers?
nationality.
and now
Right.
They're outside.
If
Bro,
you're
I don't want to have
non-Ghanaian.
to. I don't have to be at home. Like I don't even go through the process of having to expand the language. I'm talking to my mom.
It's true,
'Cause my mom,
yeah.
when we speak, my mom doesn't care whether you are
That
national or
makes
not.
the relationship interesting.
No, from your dynamic, that's fine. But
That's
for
fine,
me,
but for him,
even within
yeah.
the nationality, it's still
Yeah.
interesting.
And
so I choose that.
contrary
But I
to what
choose
I
that
said, I also have that view. For me personally,
I ain't got that.
I have that view where I feel like I can't date.
Are you switching sides?
No, I'm not switching sides. Listen what I'm saying. I'm not switching
Don't,
sides. No, I'm not switching sides. I still agree that it's a personal choice. I still agree. But my personal choice, but my personal choice is, for me, I feel like it's just easier. That's it. So it's got nothing to do with culture. I just feel like it's easier because
There's less barriers.
it's less barriers. It's the same. That's it. So I just feel like for me, it's easier. For example, I want to learn the language more.
Yo,
The language of your
Go home
nationality.
and speak it to your mum.
Huh? But I'm not going to be living with my mum forever.
sorry.
Yeah, not,
But
but you'll be
little
living
time.
for enough to learn the culture.
Well,
Or
clearly
learn
not, because
the
I've lived
language.
with her for 24 years, and I. So
Well, then you're just lazy.
it's not that I'm just lazy. It comes- No. It's not that lazy. It comes
Okay,
down
then
to.
what's stopping you from learning the language?
It comes down to the parents.
No.
Because, for example,
It comes down to your willingness.
No, don't blame your mum,
No.
bro.
Look at it this way. No. Look at it this way. What does your mum speak to you when at home?
Tree and English.
Tree and English,
Yeah.
right? My mum speaks English to me at home.
No, but
because she
then-
can't be bothered to speak the tree.
Okay, can I ask a question? Why did you not take the initiative to learn then?
I am.
He is.
I
He's
know,
learning.
why
He's
didn't
Now you are.
Bro,
because I was a little kid. How much like?
bro, what do you mean?
Hey, man,
You were a little kid for 24
but no,
years.
hold up.
It's a question.
I get
It's
it.
a question. I'm
He's
not
been a
attacking
little
you.
kid for 24 years.
No, hold up. I
You
think
go
it's-
out, buy a car, get a job,
Okay.
do
So
this, do that.
at what age? Okay, let's say at what age? If you don't know the language, at what age should you like start to learn the
I think
language?
from 5.
15.
From 5, right?
Yeah.
Now, no, hold on.
five.
Okay,
Oh, no, what, so
When
you
you not-
hold on.
should
I'll
be
stick to your 5 and I'll
Should-
go back to your 15.
Should be taught or should learn?
Learn. You said-
Oh, I think 15. I'll
Okay,
go
so
15 then.
from 15, right?
Yeah.
Now, at 15, which 15-year-old has living in our society, in our African society,
Yeah.
has the balls to be like, you know what? I'm gonna go learn. Oh,
To your
these
mum?
are-
point.
Yeah, to
I
your
do
mum.
not
I
someone
said-
outside your
what
own
do you
mum.
mean?
No,
Yeah.
let's
Your mum would be speaking tree to you
That's
anyway.
what. But that's not for me. That's what
I'm
I'm
gonna
saying.
speak to your mum, but you're lying.
No, but I get what you're saying. Like, the thing is, right? Look at our society where we've grown up now. As Aussies, look. When I was growing up, to be honest, like I don't know if we've always had this. I wanted to be white. Like that's like we've all had that.
Too easy.
No,
Too easy.
No.
Too easy.
The guy lost the sense of culture before the contact.
Exactly. Hey, and because that's
And
what
then you
I
started
saw.
filming your hair, yeah?
When did I
What you're
That- that-
exposed to.
It's what you're exposed to as a young kid.
That's
Like,
right.
After this time, we get the
Like-
blonde streak.
That's right.
like my nieces are like, oh, you guys. They said to their dad, oh, you're too traditional, you're too Ghanaian, all this stuff, and I'm like,
Wow.
hey, you're crazy. But the thing is, right, when I was that age, when I was young, I was doing the same. I wanted to be what I wanted to be because my exposure and growing up. But as you get older, you're like, Hell
Then you
no.
start to realize.
But like you start to realize,
Yeah.
like I wish I grew up, or I saw myself. Well, I wish I grew up in Ghana for a little bit, and then so I got the.
So you
So are you saying now because you weren't like exposed to the culture, you were exposed to another culture?
Yeah.
Is that why one can now say that it's a personal choice as to you're gaining something more as you're losing something?
Yeah.
Because you're not
Because
engrossed in that community or
right.
that culture.
That's right.
Okay, so if we take it a step forward, now you're in an interracial relationship. Now, next step in all relationships is after you dated for a bit. Obviously, now you consider that now you want to make her the one. So now when it comes to taking that next step forward, you're in an interracial relationship. So now, how do you go about that process? If you're deciding that I'm not the one to lose my culture, but I still want to preserve some of my culture without compromising too much.
I've got the answer.
You would have to lose something to compromise.
Look, to get to the point.
But just because you don't do something doesn't mean you lose it.
No. Yeah, you got a point. You got a point.
What do you mean? No.
It's true. You don't have to do something to
go,
like,
bro.
to lose it. It doesn't mean he's lost it.
That's right.
But the thing is, you're obviously professionally. If you don't do something, you won't be as
well, yeah, but doesn't mean you've lost. Yeah, that's what.
Exactly.
My point is, you don't lose.
You don't
If you
lose.
don't do something, you
certain
don't
things
lose
you
it.
don't lose. Yeah.
I haven't played the drums in 5 years. It doesn't mean I've lost how to play the drums. Okay?
But
lost some part of it.
you may have the talent for it, but you've lost the skill to do it.
I've got the skill.
No, but he can still pick it up quickly. So he's just trying to say
He can pick it up quicker, but you had to forego it at some point. Out of whether either sheer laziness that he didn't do it, or let's say there was another drummer in the church that came and took over that spot.
Look,
So
the
what do
thing
you say
is,
when
the
it comes to
chances of
marriage?
you like losing your or losing a sense or whatever is more when you're dating someone who's
Exactly
outside
right.
of nationality.
Exactly
Simple.
right.
Doesn't mean you lose. You will.
Yeah, it doesn't
but
mean
the
you rule, but the
chances are much
chances, that's
more.
right. Yeah,
So
the
we
chances
agreeing
are
with
more.
the statement?
I don't agree.
Okay, no.
If the
I
chances
agree.
are more, doesn't mean.
Can I be honest? From that,
So everyone has to
still want
change
to
their
know
answers.
Antoine, I still want to hear your point because you haven't made that point as to why you say no. Everyone's saying they don't wholeheartedly agree, but they're saying to a degree. But you're saying it's not even to a degree; it's a no. So the question is, what
Yeah,
do
don't
you
look at
agree
me.
from?
Don't look.
Where's your no coming?
Don't look
Ain't
at me.
nobody saying
Because you said a straight.
I told you.
No, it doesn't.
Deeply, I'm on
No,
their
eh?
side, but I just
Hey,
didn't agree.
I look at your situation and
Observe your situation.
and
Make
what makes you think nah, bro? Your situation. I mean,
I just don't think.
But you know why? You know why I don't think that? It's because how much honestly are you letting go of compromising for the other thing?
Yeah,
you're
but
pretty
how
much
much are you really?
you're living life as normal. Like you're having like
that's what I'm saying.
and you're like the dominant one. Like say for example, look, it's cool. It's cool. You're the dominant one. But if the girl, that means the girl may be losing a little bit or has to compromise more or even more. And they'd be fine with it. Sometimes if you're dating someone who's outside of your race, it all depends on the other person. If they are willing to kind of merge more into your culture, you're not going to lose much.
But you're losing something.
But
I'm not losing.
To be honest, then let's look at people like if she wants to come and talk to you, she wants to learn how to stuff. I'm not going to lose much. She's pretty much she's just not.
Yeah, because you'll be exercising that cultural
But
aspect a lot more. So you'll be
and
less
I want
prone to
to actually hear his perspective. So my thing is,
No, okay,
I want to hear your
Let me answer the
perspective.
question before we get to
Okay,
him. Okay, so me, we already said that I'm not. Let's just say fully Ghanaian. I'm not fully Ghanaian.
Let's just say you're not.
By blood, I'm fully Ghanaian.
But
But by actions, I'm not fully Ghanaian because I don't speak the language.
By
blah, blah,
looks.
blah. So if I was dating someone now that's Ghana to the core,
yeah,
right? So would she be losing sense of culture because she's with me? Because I don't speak the language. I'm still Ghanaian though, but I don't speak the language.
I feel like she is because she
No,
can't
she's
speak
not.
the language with you freely.
Doesn't mean she's lost. Doesn't mean she's lost her culture.
What culture?
She's still got it.
No,
She doesn't
not
speak-
lost culture, but you're losing as a part of it.
No, she
But
doesn't.
yeah,
Just because she doesn't speak it to him doesn't mean she's losing.
Yeah,
a part of
but
it.
you know, but
you're in a relationship.
Yeah, but
It's about the relationship
you're
it's all about.
looking too specifically. If by virtue of you're looking too in detail in the sense that fine, if he's not speaking the language, she hasn't lost anything. But now when it comes to a major aspect of relationship. Hence why I go back to marriage. You may have to lose out. She may have to lose out in certain aspects of the traditional marriage because you can't fit that
why?
mold.
Okay, let's use the wedding.
But why?
But you don't fit.
Let's use the
Let's use the wedding as an example.
Yeah.
Because like let's say there's certain parts of the tradition that we are all aware of
Yeah.
that you may have to come and say and treat.
Yeah.
You can't say that.
Yeah,
you
but
can.
no. Hold
He
on.
can't.
Even if I can't,
But he can't.
no,
say it.
hold on. Even if I can't, does that affect the
Yeah.
ceremony?
It does affect
It does,
because
because you have to
in
take
its
it out.
core
Right,
original.
don't teach him the
No,
words.
hold
In its
on.
original.
Hold on.
Uh-huh.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So you're telling me right now,
I'm telling you.
because I can't, let's say I can't speak the language at all,
Yeah.
and in that ceremony, because obviously they're speaking Tree, then they'll ask me a question,
Yeah.
right? Someone's obviously gonna have to translate to me.
Yeah.
I'm obviously gonna have to
Yeah.
say my answer,
Yeah.
and they're gonna have to either speak
Yeah.
it or get me to speak it.
Correct.
Where does that affect the culture? within
Because
the
because
relationship?
you know what, in its original core, there was no translation. No one was sitting next to you in the first place.
That's right.
So by doing that,
Yeah.
an extension of the part of the ceremony, which is part of culture, has been taken out.
Oh, yeah, okay, it's been taken
That's-
out.
that's
But
tradition.
what does she leave?
No, but
That's
but
culture.
That's culture.
No, but that's
tradition is
tradition
part of
is your
culture.
culture.
Tradition is part of culture.
No, wait. All I'm saying, hello.
Tradition is embedded in culture.
How can you separate tradition and culture?
Yeah, you can't.
Tradition
they
is
get
culture.
to sync with each other.
They are
The
in
things
sync
we
with each
do-
other. They are in sync with each other. But
because
both-
cultures it's a changing thing, bro. There's traditions, but it doesn't mean like there's a tradition there. But the culture is the one that changes.
Changes.
No, we're talking about the culture, not our
talk
culture.
about-
Our
think about
culture is
it.
molding.
The tradition is part of the culture. It isn't culture, but it's part of the culture.
yeah,
And coming out of culture is tradition.
but
Yeah.
culture
So
changes.
obviously,
It's an extension.
tradition.
Yeah, but tradition
influences
does
our culture.
tradition change.
Tradition doesn't.
Tradition doesn't change.
But culture does.
But culture
so
doesn't.
how can you say just because of tradition, you're losing
Now I'm
culture?
taking an aspect of
okay.
culture, which is tradition. And by you changing that little part of you're taking a bit of culture. I'm not saying you're changing the whole culture, but a part
Yeah.
of culture is being
It's
stripped
being
away.
stripped, but that doesn't mean that.
Are we using this example of the wedding?
Yes,
Yeah.
I have
So
haven't
just
finished
because
that.
you translated in English,
that,
I'm saying
that
that's
you're
No,
losing
but
culture.
even pushing that example, if you look at it, when you go to some of the older school Ghanaians, like
But that is not English.
wait. With the older uncles and the older aunts, because I have an uncle whereby when he speaks Tree to me, I'm not allowed to speak English back. It's not part of the culture.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
part of the tradition.
Yeah.
Hence why, if you go to at the end of the traditional wedding, is not about you two per se. It's about the families coming together.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
if they've got the elders to even allow you into the family or allow the daughter to come to your family, if you're not fitting some parts of the tradition / culture, you're literally. She's had to lose some of the culture in order to come and marry you because her own family has said that he can't speak to you that well, so let me stop that part that it's acceptable for him to come into the family.
True. Yeah, but who says they're gonna stop it?
It's because she has decided that I can compromise on that. So are you saying she should compromise?
Hold on. Like you just said, she has said she will compromise
No,
on
but
that.
in compromising, she's losing a part of
But
her
hold
culture.
on. Let me get my point.
Cool. Yep.
She has said herself she will compromise on that. That goes back to a personal decision.
So if she doesn't
can
compromise,
say,
what
I want to
happens?
compromise.
If she doesn't, what
So
happens?
you go to your uncle right now. This is what you have to say. Learn it. I probably don't even know a speak of Tree. When the wedding day comes, I
Tree,
say
right?
everything.
After that,
After that, you
Continue
go
to
back
learn.
You continue. You go back to your ways. She goes back to who she is.
And
her
that's
culture.
okay.
but then now she's lost a part. The fact
But
that
what has she lost though?
because she can't communicate to you.
But and that's fair. She can't communicate to me. Fair enough. When she goes back home, she's
No,
communicating.
don't worry about
fluently.
home because we're talking about the relationship. The whole question comes back to the
Okay,
relationship.
so we're talking about the
Just the
relationship.
two of you.
So because she can't communicate to me, does she lose? Let's say, does she forget words?
Huh?
Does she forget?
No. It's not about forgetfulness. What you have to understand is the fact that she can't have that same relationship as she had with her parents in her home with you. It's a part of her culture.
Okay,
she's
but
losing.
that's like
not
saying.
losing it.
That's like saying.
No, within the relationship, not in a whole
Hold on,
entire life, just
Yeah,
within the
but she's not
relationship.
Let me say
losing because they never spoke Tree to begin with.
Hold on. That's like saying, okay, when you're working, let's say you're working in Ghana, right? The person you're working next to speaks the same language as you. Cool. We're now in Australia. So let's say my missus is Ghanaian to the core, right?
Yeah.
She's now working in a cafe with white people.
Yeah.
They're obviously speaking English. So does that mean she's lost her culture just because she works in a cafe with white people?
Yeah, but that's
Wait.
Okay, finish that point.
Does it?
Why don't you say, come on now,
Hold
bro?
on. Does it?
Answer the
Does
question.
that mean she's losing her culture?
For me,
Yes.
personally,
Yeah.
for me personally,
Yes.
yes.
No. Okay, hold on. Where do you work?
Add to that.
No, hold on. Where do you
Where I
work?
work?
Yeah.
You don't know how I work.
No. Where do you work?
That's why I was asking the question.
Where do you work? University.
Yeah.
So does everyone at that university that you work with, your co-workers, speak your language?
No.
So that means you just before said that you would lose a sense of culture if your partner was So that means now because of where you work solely, you've lost your culture.
But this is business and pleasure, man.
But this is
I agree with you. But in context with this, we're talking specifically about relationships.
So now,
no, I don't disagree with your point. But what I'm saying is, to the extent, for example, for this, we're talking.
This guy's good with words.
Okay, so now let's bring it back to relationship. You said you agree with me, right? So are you agreeing that you lose your culture or you don't lose your culture?
I feel like you lose a sense of
in the confines of relationship.
No.
In the confines of work, yes.
Of work, yes.
Yeah.
So
That's
you
a
lose
part.
your culture.
That's a part of it that's lost.
So you
within that context, yeah.
Okay, so then that means all of us here can't say that we're gonna keep our culture then. So
what do you mean?
So that means basically what you're saying is no matter what happens, everywhere you go, you lose it. So then that defeats the question. Yeah, so the question is invalid. Because no matter where you go,
love is obviously important and it needs to be central in a marriage. But I think them no. But when we start to look at things like marriage, there's much more other things apart from love that sustains, that can continue a marriage, right? So like, and then it's the things that we think are not so much big issues now. When you get into a marriage, they actually might become big issues, and actually maybe the reason why people end up stop marrying. It may be very small. It may be, look, one thing is like, I don't know what it is with that Ghanaians, or it's like it just may be that the girl is the same age as you or a little bit older than you. That's a bit of a tough one, or they don't like it. It's because in our culture the girls mature and they grow older and they look, and then it comes to an age stage where you still look young and maybe the girl looks older, and then your attraction goes away. Or like for men, we're a little bit more, So thing is, when we start looking at other women, then it's a big thing, marriage. So the thing is, right, something like, I feel like in terms of culture and stuff like that, they want you to have a marriage where it's not too much headache. It doesn't mean it's going to deviate, but it's just on a path where it doesn't have too many obstacles and hoops to jump over, so that you can stay married for longer. I think that's
in our own culture.
Yeah, that's why. That's wrong.
That's
wrong because it could be the person that you're meant to be with is not meant to be. But that's where the basis comes from. And look, it may seem like not. But it may seem. I think that it may seem like superficial, but when you've probably been, why do our generally interracial marriages last for long? You see, like our parents, why do they? Like they last pretty much. Not everyone, but we generally tend to stay married, and it's not. It may not necessarily be because of love, And so that's why they think there's other things you need to also consider, or these things, down the line they may not be a headache. So that's why I think our parents will say, don't go. Because now you might be in the mind frame of yes, that person's the one. But later down the line, there are certain things change. That's the thing. And I think you got to open your mind to it. But at the same time, there's obviously other regulations that go along with it. That's how I see it.
So just to come in there, you're saying basically you and Dylan are both saying it's a mindset. The stigma comes from a mindset. Because he said it comes from a mindset. So do you also believe that stigma comes from the mindset?
Mindset? What stigma of a mindset? Who has? What do you mean?
The negative connotation.
The negative connotation is stigma. It's a stigma from mindset.
It's a mindset. It's a mindset. It's been a mindset.
It's not there. It's been.
I think it's come from experience. It's come from
experience and mindset. Yeah. What do you think?
From our parents' experience.
Because they see what they see.
History, man.
And what they see. I think that's they've seen a lot. So that's the reason why our parents may say something.
But then again, it's a changing world, bro.
Yeah, it's of course. It's definitely a changing world. I'm not saying. Look, I think just for in terms of making it relevant to our viewers and stuff, I think we're Afro Aussies. We obviously have a culture that is different, or not a little bit different to our parents. So I think we need to be accepting, or we need to understand that moving forward, we're gonna marry people who are not gonna be Ghanaians, like our generation going, and it's not a wrong thing. We need to accept that. And the thing is, it's hard to accept, maybe for our parents.
Yeah,
but we need
that's
to
right.
accept that it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
And the thing is, obviously, you don't have to do it, but I mean, you just accept that. And I think if you have a girlfriend, a lot of generally young ones will have girlfriends who are not Ghanaians. You know, it doesn't mean that you should obviously.
It doesn't mean you're less.
Yeah, exactly like that. But I mean, just understand that where you're coming from, there could be more. There could be different cultural barriers. If there's not,
you never know until you try. That's what
exactly. That's